episode 3 now in color. And the episodes have titles now. So it's your boy Icon here. And we're going over episode 3. Yeah. There's so much I want to say and so much, I don't want to say. But the episode starts where we left off in the last episode, where Wanda and Vision had found out that they're pregnant now and they're going to have a baby. The doctor's there, he's doing the test, like doing all the doctoral tests or whatever. And Wanda's stomach actually got bigger. Because she had a little baby bump in episode 2, but now it's like, like she's like out to here. So Vision's freaking out. The doctor's just like, well, she's only 6 months, so y'all got time. He said him and the wife are going to go on a vacation, and, they'll, if you have any questions, call, but you should be okay. So they're painting the room, they're painting the baby's room. They're trying to decide, now just like any other, married couple that's having a baby, they're arguing over what the name should be. Vision wanted Billy, Wanda wanted Tommy. So now they're, so they're painting the baby's room. And one positive thing I can definitely say that was enjoyable about the episode was Wanda's emotional, physical reactions to the pregnancy. Like, there was a moment where the baby's heart started beating and it caused a power outage that blacked out the entire neighborhood. There was a moment where, like, her water broke, and when her water broke, it busted every drain pipe, throughout the entire neighborhood. So it was like her emotions were tied to her pregnancy. And I thought that was actually done very well, done very cool. The episode opens with a little Partridge family inside of the Brady Bunch's house. And I thought that was a nice little callback as well. We got a commercial for Hydra soap, which was funny. So again, her birth was actually accelerated. Because again, like, she just got pregnant yesterday. Now she's 6 months. Now her water broke. Now she's going into labor. While she's going into labor, Vision is just like, oh, let me go get the doctor. So he runs down, uses his superpowers, runs down to the doctor's house. He scoops up the doctor, puts the doctor on his back, and then speed runs back to the house. Geraldine shows up now. She got her 1970s afro working with her bell-bottom pants and her shoes on. She comes into the house. She's talking to Wanda. Her and Wanda are having a conversation, and again, because Wanda's powers were basically orchestrating her entire pregnancy. Like, there's the old folk tale that when you're pregnant and you're about to have a baby, the stork brings a baby to you. A stork, while Geraldine and Wanda were talking, a stork actually walked into the room, and and I laughed at that because like I said, her powers being related to her pregnancy, I thought that was done very well. Having the stork walk around, go into the room or whatever. So then Geraldine, she goes into the room looking for papers. She sees all the baby stuff. Then she's like, oh my God, you're pregnant. And then she's just like, yep. And then, and then she started going into labor. The contractions started happening. I'm surprised that her contractions or her giving birth didn't cause an earthquake or like a serious power outage. So Geraldine helps her deliver the baby. Vision shows up with the doctor late. The doctor never questions the super speed or whatever. And then after that, and I knew this was going to happen because when Vision saw the baby, as any father would, like seeing their child for the first time, he got all choked up and he got emotional. And because they were going back and forth between whether they should name the baby Tommy or Billy, before he said it, I was just like, once he holds the baby, watch him call the baby Tommy. And that's exactly what he did. Like, he called the baby Tommy. And then after he called the baby Tommy, and then he was holding the baby, you even had like the 70s crowd soundtrack with the and then Wanda started screaming because she was going into labor again. And when she went to labor again, she had a second baby. And then when the second baby came out, which was also a boy, she decided to name that one Billy. So now both of them get what they want. And I feel like Wanda's powers basically created it was almost like she felt bad for Vision because, well, not so much bad, but because since Vision basically conceded to give her the name that she wanted and that touched her, I guess her way of thanking him was to give him a second child so he can get his name as well. So they now have 2 babies. Both babies are sitting in the crib or whatever, and then Wanda and Geraldine, they're looking at the babies, and then Vision goes to walk the doctor out. And when Vision went to walk the doctor out before the doctor left, Vision asked him, he was like, oh, are you and the wife, going to take your vacation now? The doctor was like, no, because he was just like, small town folk, we can't get away or we can't get out or whatever. And then Vision was like, well, that's weird. And then as he went back into the house, the neighbor from the female neighbor from the past 2 episodes and the black dude, the 2 of them were having a conversation. Vision went to go talk to them, and they were both just like acting kind of weird. And he asked them what was wrong, and then they were just like, "Oh," they were very scared. You could tell they were very scared. They were like, "Oh, nothing's wrong." They were like, "By the way, where's Geraldine?" And then it's like, "Oh, she's in the house with with Wanda. Why?" And then they're saying that Geraldine, like, she didn't have a house, she didn't have a family. I thought she was the black dude's husband, wife. I thought she was married to the black dude, but they were just like, "Oh, she just came to the town. She doesn't have a family. She doesn't have a wife or whatever. She doesn't have a husband or a family or whatever." And then he's just like, "Well, that doesn't make sense." And then the black dude was this close to like spilling the beans. But then, like, the woman basically like talked him out of it. The black dude got scared and then he ran off. So now Vision's just like, what the hell's going on here? There was a moment earlier where when Wanda's stomach had gotten bigger, Vision was talking to her, and then he was just like, oh dear, there's something going on. There's something very wrong going on around here. I don't understand what it is. And then Wanda rewound time and like made him run that one back. And he was just like, oh, I'm mistaken. He was just like, everything's going to be perfectly fine, dear. So now she's talking to Gerald. So she's talking to Geraldine, and, Wanda says to Geraldine, she's like, I used to have she's like, I used to be a twin. I used to have a twin brother named Pietro. And then she started singing a lullaby like in her native tongue. And then Geraldine was just like, oh, that's right. You were, your brother was killed by Ultron. Because Geraldine said in the previous episode, she was like, hi, when she was introduced to Wanda for the first time, she was like, hi, my name is Geraldine and I have no idea why I'm here. So, but then she remembered, she was just like, yeah, your brother was killed by Ultron. And then Wanda was like, what did you say? And then she cast Geraldine like out of the, out of the virtual like mind person or whatever. Vision comes back into the house and he's just like, Wanda, where's Geraldine? And she's like, oh, she left. I had to get rid of her. And then you see Geraldine go flying through, like, it looked like it looked like a mirage, like force field, like the same thing that they used for Themyscira on Wonder Woman. So Geraldine goes crashing through that thing. She lands on the grass, and then a bunch of we'll just call them shield or sword agents. A bunch of them surround her, and then Geraldine kind of like looks over as to like she just woke up out of a trance, and then the episode ends. They also mentioned the fact that when Geraldine made the comment about Ultron, Wanda saw the necklace that Geraldine had around her neck, and it was a sword and shield necklace that she had around her neck. So so then Wanda immediately knew what it was, and she cast her out. So, and that was pretty much how the episode ended, with shield, sword basically surrounding Geraldine. Basically, what happened, what's happening here is, I'm convinced now that Wanda is fully aware of what's going on. Like, there was a moment where I wasn't sure if her self-conscious created this world, or like her emotions created this world, or if Wanda herself actually knows what's going on. Wanda knows what's going on. Wanda's fully aware of what's going on. She's playing dumb. Geraldine was sent into the forced field bubble. Like, all these people live in a specific town. Wanda went to the town, put a force field around it, she transformed the town into something that she wanted, and she's holding all these poor people captive. And Geraldine doesn't actually belong in the town because she works for Sword and Shield. So it sounds like Pokemon. So because she works for Sword and Shield, they knew she was an outcast. So that's why Wanda casted her out of the town. Because Wanda's whole thing is, no one's gonna ruin my happy ending. She created twin boys for herself. There's a tie-in with her brother. Wanda's basically giving herself a happy ending. And Sword is trying to stop her. He's trying to break her out of the trance and like wake her up so everything can go back to normal. And that's pretty much what happened. I mean, I can't say it's only a matter of time before Vision figures everything out, because Vision's not real. The only person in that whole town that's not real is Vision, because Wanda created Vision. Everybody else is real. Like, everybody else is real. Like, Vision's not really there. But so that was it. That was how the episode ended. And the show, the episode was boring. The episode was very boring. And just because you gave me a Hydra soap commercial doesn't change the fact, just because the last 3 minutes of the episode was actually interesting, because it gave us more of a look into the sword aspect of it. It gave us more of a look of what's really going on with Wanda, who's supposed to be here, who knows this is real, who knows this is fake. You know, Geraldine, even Geraldine's whole situation, because she's obviously an agent of sword. Just because you gave me that in the last 3-5 minutes doesn't mean the previous 25 minutes were good. Because up until that moment, up until she had the baby, the show was very boring. And, you know, it's kind of been like that for the last 3 episodes. So hopefully now that they've let us in to what's really going on, we've seen the force field now. You know, we know that Sword is trying to break into this mind prison. Even the bee person in the last episode, because there's like a force field around the prison, maybe that bee person, he ended up going through the sewer system to try to sneak into the bubble. And then when Wanda found him, she kicked his ass out. So, but like I said, that's basically what's going on. Wanda's basically protecting her feelings right now. She's protecting her made up family. But it's only a matter of time before someone actually busts through and wakes Homegirl up. And that's pretty much what we're waiting for, because I mean, there are a lot of people that love the show, that think that the show is great, and a lot of the reasons that they're given is based on what we know is going to happen. Everybody's talking about like, oh, you know, the Iron Man sword helicopter, and, you know, we know that she's in a mind prison. But I'm just like, okay, that's fine. We know what's going to happen. We know what will eventually happen. But the stuff that they're giving us, right now until all that stuff happens is kind of a snooze fest. But there are a lot of positives as well. There are some positives, because I love the magic show from the previous episode. And like I said, in this episode, although I was bored by what was happening in the episode, I liked how they used her powers, like her pregnancy tied in with her emotions, and that was projecting things that were happening in, like, you know, like in real life. So that was kind of cool too. So we'll see what happens in episode 4. We'll see if we actually get to talk to someone from Sword now. Maybe in the next episode, Geraldine will actually have a conversation with one of the commanders, you know, from Sword or Shield. Maybe Nick Fury will pop up. Like I said, you know, like at this point now, we get like the whole like going through like old school bad television. We get that now. It's time to like beef this thing up a little bit and give us the stuff that a lot of us are waiting for. So thank you for tuning in. Batwoman episode 2. That's coming this weekend. That's coming on Monday. The episode airs on Sunday, and the review's coming up on Monday. The Superman and Lois trailer came out, so I'm definitely going to do a review for that as well. And when episode 4 of WandaVision comes out, we'll review that too. So thank you for tuning in. Leave a comment, like, and or subscribe. Hit the notification bell, you know, so that way you'll know when my videos pop up for my reviews, because like I said, we're reviewing all this superhero-ness until the very end. Take care, guys. And for WandaVision, I'm out this bitch.